The situation was like this. During the previous battle between Goku and Beerus, their fight was extremely intense, even affecting the Earth and the entire universe. So, after everything ended, Satan began to explain the reason behind it all to everyone. Satan claimed that a demon had come, and through his relentless efforts, he finally drove away the demon Beerus. Although he was no match at first, somehow, a miracle occurred. A tremendous energy surged from within him, transforming him into Super Saiyan Satan, and he became incredibly powerful. Even the demon Beerus had to admit defeat. He then quickly threw punches at Beerus, and just like that, the demon Beerus was defeated by Super Saiyan Satan. It sounds ridiculous, but surprisingly, the Earthlings believed it, and even felt proud to have such a hero on Earth. These people are really deep in the illusion. However, the day to pay for these boasts will come. So, while Satan was boasting, a mysterious flying object descended from the sky, and two Snackian cats emerged from it. They had come to meet Satan, the savior of the universe, and even brought him a bravery medal from Planet Snack. Unexpectedly, Satan's boasts had reached across the universe, but then, a muscular cat suddenly protested, challenging Satan to prove he was the hero who defeated the god of destruction and saved the world by defeating him first. We all know, Satan was not the hero who defeated Beerus, so he took the opportunity to pretend to be unwell, but the audience kept cheering for Satan, and avoiding the challenge could damage his reputation. Unable to win, Satan once again pretended to have a stomachache, a trick that has never failed since the Cell era. Claiming a stomachache, he actually ran to the restroom to call for help, but his son-in-law Gohan was busy making dark cuisine and didn't hear the phone ring, so Satan called Vegeta, but again, no one answered. Left with no choice, Satan had to face it himself. Even during his restroom break, a broadcast platform was set up, and the challenger began to acknowledge Satan's power. Is Satan really that strong? The muscular cat thought Satan was full of weaknesses, but was unable to move, thinking it was just Satan tricking the opponent. But in fact, Satan was hoping that his family, Goku or Goten and Trunks, would appear in the crowd to help him out of the crisis. Lo and behold, as they say about Chow Chow, Chow Chow arrives. Goku came over with a tractor to see what was happening. Satan felt like his savior had arrived, and immediately asked his son-in-law Goku to help send them back. Goku agreed right away, and Satan confidently turned to the muscular cat, saying, "You have to get past him first." The opponent felt underestimated by Satan, thinking he was just a farming old man. This is probably the most tragic time Goku has been misrepresented as a mere farmer. Haha. Just when they wanted to fight, Chi-Chi and their housekeeper Piccolo came over with a basket full of daily necessities. I sincerely marveled at how much Piccolo had sacrificed for the Sun family. Even going shopping with Chi-Chi and carrying a full basket of goods. Being a housekeeper is tough, especially without a salary. Has Piccolo the great demon king lost his dignity? He has truly become the Sun family's housekeeper. When Chi-Chi saw her husband about to fight, she immediately disagreed and shouted, "Goku, what are you doing here?" Hearing this, Goku immediately backed down. The strongest Saiyan is under strict control by his wife. If his wife found out he was slacking off during work hours to fight, he would be in trouble when he got home. So, he immediately asked Satan to punch him. The bewildered Satan did as told. And so Goku once again became an actor, pretending to be knocked away by Satan. He then picked up his dining partner, the tractor, and hurriedly left. Now that the savior was gone, Satan really had to fend for himself. Thus, there was a scene of Satan being chased by a Snackian cat. But Satan, you are at least the world martial arts champion. If you keep running away like this, the audience below will reveal your secret. Satan also saw the audience starting to lose faith in him, so he decided to face the challenge bravely. Meanwhile, the dog in Satan's car came out. Just as the muscular cat was about to hit Satan, it inexplicably stopped. Satan seized the opportunity and threw a punch. The three cats fled. The audience below thought Satan had driven them away. In fact, it was the dog he had picked up during his acquaintance with Majin Buu that scared the cats away. These Snackian cats are naturally afraid of dogs. Who would have thought? Satan's luck is still so good that he was saved by a dog. Thus, Satan's reputation was preserved and even solidified. How powerful is a punch from Goku? Want to try it? I don't, because being hit by it could kill me, but Goku's close friend Kuririn wanted to experience it. Kuririn remembered the days when he trained under Master Roshi with Goku, but now Goku had become so strong that he could spar with the god of destruction. However, Kuririn hadn't progressed in a long time, so now he wanted to try Goku's punch. Goku obliged him. Then with a loud shout, he punched Kuririn hard in the face, making him spin around and fly halfway across the earth before crashing into rocks. So, how about that punch? Can you feel Goku's strength? Fortunately, Kuririn has his lovely wife, Android 18, to heal his injuries, which makes others envious. Kuririn had previously considered giving up martial arts to spend more time with his wife and children, but after Goku's punch, he ultimately decided not to give up training. Goku took advantage of his wife's absence to slack off at work and train. In fact, Goku had mentioned that he could have made money to support his family like Satan, but he chose to slack off at work and train instead. So he didn't go down that path. While Goku was slacking off and training at work, our stomach wasn't feeling well. Vegeta, who was more suited for eating soft rice, was training very hard because he didn't have to provide for a family like Goku and wasn't henpecked like Goku, so he had plenty of time to surpass Carrot, and even the Destroyer God. Vegeta was alone in the wilderness pondering. From rainy days to scorching hot days, he couldn't find a way to surpass Carrot, almost making him question his life. While these two Saiyans were training, Bulma was secretly dating Whis behind her husband Vegeta's back, constantly treating Whis to delicious food. Then Whis accidentally walked into the wrong scene and turned into a food show. What tempura? It's just shrimp wrapped in flour and fried. I feel like I could make it. Haha. And Whis is eating something here that we can buy at a roadside stand for 2 yuan. Haha. Bulma did this to curry favor with Whis, hoping that he would help when Beerus comes to Earth again. Bulma really had schemes. At this time, Vegeta came home dirty and was scolded by Bulma, but Vegeta didn't take it to heart and turned to leave. Suddenly, he saw Whis and his wife together, and Vegeta felt a bit cuckolded. Terrifying thoughts indeed. Then Bulma went to eat with Whis again. Vegeta saw this and got angry. He wanted to attack Whis, but found Whis impeccable and couldn't make a move. He directly asked Whis who he really was. Whis benevolently told him that he is not only the Destroyer God's steward and nanny but also his master, similar to the relationship between Gohan and Piccolo. Haha. Vegeta was confused by the sudden appearance of so many powerful people. His worldview collapsed instantly. Without much thought, Vegeta knelt down to apprentice. This was Vegeta's first time kneeling and wanting to apprentice. However, an angel is a master to the Destroyer God, not a Saiyan. But Vegeta didn't plan to give up. Since you like eating so much, I'll let you taste the best food in the world. Foodie Whis got excited and ran off with Vegeta, abandoning Bulma. But contrary to expectations, Whis found that the delicacies Vegeta chose were all places Bulma had taken him to eat before. So Vegeta decided to cook himself to conquer Whis' stomach. Whis was initially excited, but could Vegeta do it? First was Vegeta's special Omurus, but Vegeta used to make octopus balls for Beerus. Now, he couldn't even crack an egg correctly. Whether it's a slip of the hand or poor strength control, a whole basket of eggs was crushed by Vegeta without successfully cracking one, even getting egg all over himself. Whis was getting impatient and wanted to go out to eat delicious food with Bulma. However, Vegeta still had a trump card up his sleeve. Bulma had also kept hidden the most delicious food on Earth, which she indulged in once a week. True to being a long-married couple, they really understood each other, and this food was none other than instant noodles that just needed boiling water for 3 minutes. They were truly convenient and tasty. After just one bite, Whis felt an instant climax. You know that sound. You understand. Thus, Whis agreed to Vegeta's request to become his apprentice, and even brought back a sack full of instant noodles. Doesn't this sound just like you guys binge watching at home? After much hardship, Vegeta finally succeeded in becoming an apprentice. This was his first time seeking apprenticeship. During this time, Vegeta's friend Goku had already advanced to becoming a grandfather. Since Pan had been born, so Gohan, right after work, hurried home every day, eager to meet his little sweetheart Pan. Unlike Gohan, the jobless Grandpa Satan had it better, as he could play with Gohan's little sweetheart every day. Thus, as soon as Gohan returned, he had to compete with his father-in-law Satan for attention. Don't be fooled by our Gohan's usual scholarly demeanor. He is actually the Saiyan superhero who maintains world peace. Seeing Satan taking away his little sweetheart, he started to transform and fought with the world martial arts champion. Indeed, no matter how old, men will still be boys. This is just too childish. But did these two men ever consider Pan's feelings? What if Pan fell while being tossed around? At that moment, Grandma Chi-Chi arrived. Seeing these two men carelessly tossing Pan around, she instantly became furious. Her angry expression filled the entire screen. Since Pan has Saiyan genes, such a small scene surely wouldn't be a problem. But Chi-Chi, fearful that Pan would grow up to be a battle maniac like Goku, hoped that Pan would become a gentle lady, so she started arguing about Pan's future, saying that the child is still so young and should decide her own future. In fact, Gohan himself did not like martial arts, being a scholar was his dream, and he had achieved it without becoming a battle maniac, so there's no need to worry about the child engaging in martial arts. After all, both Gohan and his wife Videl come from martial arts backgrounds. Chi-Chi is just being too controlling, but Chi-Chi locked herself and the child away, not allowing others in. Helpless, Gohan called his uncle Kuririn, who had become a policeman, while Kuririn was chasing two robbers. These robbers accidentally offended the formidable Bulma. Bulma is not someone to mess with, so they ended up being furiously chased by her. Eventually, the two robbers were knocked down, and Kuririn then issued Bulma a ticket. Even though you're the richest person in the world and an old friend, the impartial Kuririn still had to issue you a ticket. In the end, they all went to Gohan's villa. Goten also brought Goku over, but Goku, who fears nothing but his wife Chi-Chi, is not reliable for this matter. Of course, Kuririn is unreliable too, so all eyes turned to Bulma. Afterward, Bulma was quickly dragged into the room by Chi-Chi. The three women started to talk about the sorrows of womanhood. Bulma was supposed to be there to help, but she ended up siding with Chi-Chi, and they both complained about the Saiyans' old habits. Oh, these Saiyans just don't understand our struggles. My Vegeta not only neglects Trunks' education but also left me alone to train with Whis for half a year. What training? Goku suddenly felt that something was terribly wrong. Vegeta had gone to train with Whis behind his back, and for half a year at that. Goku was very afraid that he would be surpassed by Vegeta and immediately asked Bulma to notify him the next time Whis came. But Whis had just visited not long ago, and it might be another month or two before his next visit. However, Goku couldn't wait that long and decided to search for Vegeta's energy signature and then teleport there. But after searching the entire universe, he couldn't feel Vegeta's energy and had no choice but to wait for Whis' next visit. Goku, wanting to train with Whis, started to harass Bulma daily, whether she was eating, working, or bathing. Goku's ability to teleport was just too dangerous. He accidentally slipped into Bulma's house and almost saw her naked. Unable to tolerate Goku's harassment, Bulma gave him a cell phone to notify him as soon as Whis arrived. To keep it from Chi-Chi, Goku lied, saying that Bulma was secretly planning a surprise party for Pan's birthday. Goku, eager to train with Vegeta, constantly checked the phone, completely distracted from work. Suddenly, Bulma called. Goku changed into his martial arts uniform and prepared to go train. Originally, Vegeta had gone through a lot of trouble and even ruined his own image to make Whis accept him as an apprentice. Now, with Goku, it was just a casual request, and Whis agreed. The protagonist's halo is indeed different, but Whis had just arrived and hadn't even had a chance to eat. You monkey, why are you in such a hurry? Goku's intention to train with Whis reached his son Gohan, who was also worried for his father. If Chi-Chi found out, Goku wouldn't be able to come home for meals. But Goku was still too impatient. Whis hadn't even had a bite to eat and was already being harassed relentlessly. Goku, you're bothering people during meals. Probably no one in the world could stand it. Goku, aren't you also interested in eating? Just add a pair of chopsticks and eat together. Soon after, Whis finally finished eating, but just as he was about to leave, Goku's wife Chi-Chi was brought over by their son. Goku saw his wife coming, and his fear of his wife flared up, making him quickly hide behind Bulma. He's fearless in battle, but completely cowed by his wife. After Whis finished his meal, he was ready to go back. Goku couldn't wait and jumped to grab Whis. And so, Goku also went to train with Whis, leaving the two Saiyans' wives at home with the children. However, Chi-Chi is already used to such oddities. These things used to happen frequently. Let Goku handle it. Thus, the two Saiyans smoothly entered a new round of cheating. Just arrived, Goku spotted Vegeta, wearing a floral apron, waiting for Whis' return. Unexpectedly, Vegeta, in order to surpass Carrot, has become a nanny for others, but this time, Whis brought Goku back as well. Vegeta knew that Goku would definitely come one day. Seeing Vegeta dressed like this, Goku immediately started mocking him. Didn't expect you, the Saiyan Prince, to have such a day. Becoming a nanny, ha ha ha. Vegeta has been training here for half a year, probably not much different from Goku now. So, how are they training? On the surface, Whis trains them, but actually, he's just getting 2 free nannies, and they're Saiyan nannies at that. Far superior to Namekian nannies. Next, Goku, like Vegeta, tied on an apron. Starting his first experience as a nanny, the first task in their training was to help the god of destruction Beerus change his bedsheets. But don't think it's a simple task. It has its requirements. After all, a cat like Beerus, not suited to domestic life, sleeps for months, years, or even decades at a time. Thus, the sheets must be changed while he sleeps, and without waking him. Keep in mind, Beerus is a god of destruction. If woken during sleep, destruction is sure to follow. The sand timers flying around are actually bombs. Touch one, and it explodes. So, to ensure the task is completed in one go, they must quietly wait for the right moment. Goku and Vegeta's first task under Whis, to change Beerus's bedsheets, truly tested their patience and insight. Goku, the newbie, didn't understand. Seeing the cat's cute sleeping form, he went over to take a closer look, but suddenly, Beerus opened his eyes, scaring Goku terribly. Vegeta was also very nervous. Fortunately, the next second Beerus fell back asleep. Although Beerus didn't wake, his tail whacked Goku away, almost hitting the bomb timer. Luckily, Vegeta was quick, teleporting over to whisk Goku away, but just as the crisis was averted, Vegeta was kicked away by Beerus as well, even smashing into the timer. And in the final moment of the explosion, Goku, wearing the bomb, instant transmitted next to Whis, and with a bang, exploded next to Whis. After that incident, Goku thought Beerus was pretending to sleep, playing a trick on them, so he went up to check again, but the next second, Beerus caught him in a deadly scissor kick. That hurt. Vegeta told Goku to lift Beerus up, find the right moment, and then quickly change the sheets. Then they took a piece of dried fish, luring Beerus back to sleep. Done swiftly and smoothly. It seems Vegeta is already an expert. After changing the sheets, there were other tasks to do. Can you believe it? Saiyans becoming nannies for others. If I had such awesome nannies at home, even a great thief wouldn't dare to enter. After finishing the housework, the real training began. Whis thoughtfully prepared a new training suit for Goku. The first training task was to pick up this weight and walk around the planet. It may look like just a simple weight, but even Goku couldn't lift it using all his strength. So, how heavy do you think this weight actually is, considering their current strength? When they finally managed to lift it, the path behind them began to disappear. If they fell, there would be no coming back, so they had no choice but to keep running. While they were still running, Whis transferred them to the place where Beerus was sleeping. It turns out that eating is the most important thing in Beerus's mind, making life tough for these two Saiyans. If it had been like before, a single attack from Beerus would have definitely killed them. After a day of hardship, the training finally ended. Goku was so exhausted that he collapsed as soon as he returned. Vegeta, not wanting to be surpassed by Carrot, continued to train fiercely on his own. However, the human body needs rest to repair itself from the day's fatigue. Constant training without rest is actually detrimental to growth. Goku grew up deeply influenced by the Turtle School martial arts, learning to eat well, rest well, and enjoy life. Vegeta, on the other hand, was naturally gifted and never practiced Earth's martial arts, lacking this essence of martial arts. Whis also said that Vegeta's nerves were too tense, which is why he lags behind Goku because his body doesn't get enough rest, similar to his training in the hyperbolic time chamber during the Cell Saga. The next day, training became less monotonous because it was time to start actual combat. The two Saiyans attacked the Angel Whis. Vegeta launched a fierce attack, but Whis easily dodged all their attacks. Both fighters were thinking of fighting solo, showing no intention of teamwork. Consequently, Whis thought they were too weak and called a halt to point out their shortcomings. Vegeta always thinks before he acts, but processing through the brain and transmitting to the body slows down his response time. Whis advised learning to make split-second judgments, which would allow them to evade any danger, though even Beerus has not mastered this perfectly. Goku couldn't help but ask if Whis could do it. Elsewhere in the universe, the remnants of the real estate mogul Frieza were still engaged in the business of trading planets, but since losing their boss, business has become increasingly difficult. After the battle on Namek, Frieza and his top lieutenant were essentially finished. So this group of weaklings made a very risky decision to go to Earth to find the Dragon Balls and revive their boss to regain their former glory. From this point on, Frieza was hung on a tree. Every day, little fairies came to sing and dance. Look, the treatment of an emperor is indeed different. There are people singing and dancing every day. Looking at how happy Frieza seems makes you want to join in the dance. In fact, this was the underworld deliberately tormenting Frieza. Who told you to do so many bad things in your life? They were plotting to go to Earth to find the Dragon Balls to revive their boss. Because they had been unable to find the new Namek for a long time, they could only take the risk to go to Earth. And just at that moment, a super fast beam of light suddenly passed through, flipping their spaceship over, and the two who flipped over Frieza's remnant spaceship turned out to be an oversized Beerus and a female version of Whis. Looking at these two, it seems they were looking for something. They just destroyed a star. Who exactly are they? You'll find out later, returning to Frieza's remnants, because Frieza had been offline eating for quite a while. Now leading the army was this short guy Sorbet. You can tell this guy doesn't have much combat power. Under his leadership, the Frieza army is about to be out of work. I advise you to hurry up and find a factory job screwing screws. There's no future with Sorbet, but they still hope to revive their boss and restore their former glory. However, there is one who does not wish to revive the boss. That is the strongest sparring partner in history, Tagoma, because he had once met Boss Frieza. Seeing how short Frieza was, Tagoma doubted Frieza's strength. Without some height, even his own subordinates would look down on him. He couldn't even lift his head when speaking. And back on the planet of the God of Destruction, Goku and Vegeta were still practicing combat with Whis. Both launched punches separately, but their coordination was too poor, and they didn't want to cooperate, so they collided with each other. You're the prince, you go first. And Whis, who could use Ultra Instinct, Vegeta's speed and attacks, couldn't touch Whis at all. Seeing Vegeta struggling alone, Goku joined him. Then, Whis blocked their attacks with just 2 fingers. The strongest 2 Saiyans in the universe even signed a Naruto symbol during their attacks. After the practical training, it was time for theoretical knowledge. You know, although Vegeta is a combat genius, why is he always one step behind Goku? Whis gave the answer, because you are always in a tense state, unable to give your all at critical moments. It's important to relax and rest appropriately at times, just like Goku. That's how Kane Sanin taught Goku. But on the contrary, Whis suddenly struck Goku. Being too relaxed can also become a big problem. It seems that in the world of Dragon Ball, no matter how strong, the physical strength is limited. Only by improving ki can the body become stronger. So, while they are sleeping and relaxing, could I take out the Saiyans? And that's their biggest fault. So, we come to Earth. After Piccolo raised his own son Gohan, now he has to take care of his granddaughter. It's like he became Goku's dad, and now he has become Goku's grandpa, taking on the duties of a grandfather. Suddenly, Piccolo sensed a malevolent presence from afar, believing that direction harbored an evil force. Without Piccolo's remark, Gohan wouldn't have noticed it, indicating that Gohan was gradually becoming useless. This evil presence was indeed Tagoma and his group. They targeted the Pilaf gang, the comedic trio who, after crossing seas, climbing mountains, and battling fierce beasts, had finally gathered the Dragon Balls. They thought they could conquer the world and rule as kings, but before they could celebrate, Sorbet and Tagoma interrupted them. However, these aliens didn't know how to summon the dragon and make a wish, just like Frieza back in the day. So, they spared the trio's lives, letting them summon the dragon. Then Sorbet began to make his wish, asking for his boss Frieza to be revived. But Frieza's body had been shattered by Trunks, and even if revived, it would be in pieces. However, it was no problem for these aliens with their advanced technology. Once revived, even a shattered body could be restored. The dragon, wanting to regain its dignity after being frightened into a submissive state by Beerus last time, decided to put on a show this time. But the Dragon Balls grant 3 wishes, and only one had been made so far. As Sorbet pondered over what to wish for next, a voice shouted for $1 million and another for the world's best ice cream. Not a bad deal, having gone through so much to be able to make 2 wishes. It was only Pilaf who got the short end of the stick, unable to make any wish. Afterward, Sorbet put Frieza into a freezer and brought him back to the spaceship, immediately placing his boss in a healing chamber. Thus, a once great emperor and real estate magnate was finally revived. Even Goku, who was wearing an apron on the planet of the God of Destruction, felt something was amiss. But a boss is a boss. Seeing through these weaklings the real reason for his revival to rely on his former self to restore the Frieza army's former glory. Relying on these people to make a name in the real estate sector was hardly likely. This group wanted to revive their boss to continue the company's legacy. But this Frieza boss was only focused on seeking revenge against the Saiyans, blinded by hatred. However, he faced opposition from Tagoma, the strongest sparring partner. Unlike Sorbet, who was kind-hearted, Frieza wasn't. A few death beams would show the fearsome power of Boss Frieza and let others know his authority, daring anyone to call him short again. Even if Frieza wanted revenge, he had been dead for so long that the Saiyans not only eliminated Majin Buu but even went as far as to fight Beerus, achieving godly power. Moreover, Majin Buu and Beerus, as Frieza's father once said, should never be messed with at any cost. But now that Goku had taken down Majin Buu, it was beyond Frieza's expectations. No worries, our real estate magnate was born with divine strength. When Saiyans still had a battle power of just 1 to 2,000, he was born with a battle power of several tens of millions, and he has never trained before. So, with just 4 months of diligent training, plus a top sparring partner, he will definitely surpass those damned monkeys. That said, let's do it. Immediately head back home. Meanwhile, on the planet of the God of Destruction, Goku and Vegeta are still training diligently. After a punch exchange between the two, a blue aura suddenly appeared. It seems they might be on the verge of discovering a new form. Even Whis remarked that their progress was a bit too fast. At that moment, the God of Destruction Beerus woke up from a dream, sneezed over, and nearly took the lives of Goku and Vegeta. And Beerus, who was also a foodie, realized that these two Saiyans must have brought some tasty food to bribe Whis, which is why they were brought here to train. Come to think of it, these three are all disciples of Whis. Beerus is the eldest brother, Vegeta is the second, and Goku is the youngest, all from the same master. But while Beerus was asleep, Whis went to Earth many times to sneak some food, and even claimed it was just for tasting, fearing that Beerus might eat something poisonous or unpalatable. The excuse was quite something, clearly just because he couldn't resist his cravings. In the blink of an eye, another 4 months passed. This marks Jaco's first appearance in Dragon Ball. He is flying his spaceship toward Earth, and lands at Bulma's house. Upon exiting, he asks if this is Bulma's house. When the two mischievous kids see him, they mistake him for a superhero, and immediately start messing around. Jaco has known Bulma for a long time, even longer than Goku, when Bulma was just a few years old. Jaco, as a galactic patrolman, was ordered to come to Earth to eliminate the Saiyan Carrot, but his spaceship was damaged, and he ended up meeting and befriending Bulma, who helped fix his ship. However, he failed to complete his mission to eliminate Goku, or else there would be no Dragon Ball to watch. This time Jaco came to tell Bulma that the cosmic-level real estate tycoon Frieza was coming with his troops. Since Bulma had never seen Frieza on Namek, Jaco freely drew a portrait of him, which turned out to be vivid and lifelike. But the main forces, Goku and Vegeta, were still training at the place of the God of Destruction, so Bulma thought of using a summoning technique to call Whis over. But Jaco said that Frieza would arrive on Earth in about an hour. This was a big deal. Bulma immediately went to notify everyone. At that time, Kuririn was still at work, but considering the crisis facing Earth, he decided to skip work. He went home, changed into his martial arts uniform, and had his wife, Android 18, shave his head before he set out. Ha ha ha, Bald Kuririn is back, and we can call him Bald Kuririn again. Kuririn, being very considerate, left his wife to take care of the children. Although Android 18's battle power is formidable, as a man, his wife and children are most important. Watching her bald husband leave, Android 18 exclaimed, "He looks so cool." This time Kuririn also brought along Master Roshi. It seems Master Roshi is about to reclaim his title as the God of Martial Arts. Meanwhile, the others also gathered. After 4 months of grueling training, Frieza finally returned to Earth again. Last time he came, he was also bent on revenge, but was instantly killed by Trunks. It's hard to say what will happen this time. After arriving on Earth, the minions of the Freezer Company swarmed out immediately. Dense as salted egg Superman, said to be 1,000. But I think there are more than 1,000. Looking at our heroes on this side, only a few people are there, and the main forces, Goku and Vegeta, are not present. Even Fat Bu felt it was too cold and went into hibernation directly. Gohan has been reading so much he even forgot his martial arts uniform, coming over in sportswear, uncertain if he could even turn into a Super Saiyan, not to mention the mysterious state of Gohan. But at that moment, the salted egg Superman came with Bulma in his spaceship, claiming to be a super elite of the Galactic Patrol. Yet he's a typical character who bullies the weak and fears the strong. Frieza he dares not touch, only managing to deal with the nearby minions. When coming to Frieza, he recognized the bald Kuririn at a glance, not knowing if Kuririn shaved his head on purpose so that Frieza would recognize him. Spotting my bald head, if you dare to crush me later, Goku will definitely remind you of the fear of being dominated by a Super Saiyan. I wonder if Frieza will learn his lesson. And Bulma, who doesn't know how formidable Frieza is, speaks boldly. "You're a cosmic-level real estate tycoon, and I'm Earth's richest person. We could collaborate sometime." Just kidding. Bulma wanted to let Gohan go up and smash Frieza, but the current Gohan was practically Nobita, proclaiming he couldn't do it. Then Bulma's attitude did a 360-degree turn. "Boss Frieza, your former employee Vegeta, and my family's Vegeta along with Goku haven't come back from another place yet. Could you wait a bit?" Knowing they only gave 10 seconds, she exclaimed, "What a miser! Just 10 seconds is indeed stingy. So, what are we waiting for? Attack immediately!" Frieza's revenge plan thus began. With Sorbet's command, all the minions surged forward. Unexpectedly, Kame Sennin, still sharp as ever, transformed into his muscular form and easily handled these minions. So not to mention Gohan, Piccolo, and Tien, but this bald Kuririn, previously crushed by Frieza, the scene vivid in memory, was completely afraid to move. Frieza saw this, then let the minions surround and attack bald Kuririn. Oh, this Frieza really doesn't learn. If bald Kuririn hangs again, when Goku comes back and sees, he will definitely remind you of the fear of being dominated by the Saiyans. And bald Kuririn was really scared by Frieza, already forgetting how many battles he had experienced against Cell, Majin Buu, Beerus, etc. Now even afraid of these weaklings. In the end, it was Kame Sennin's reminder that made bald Kuririn realize. Then he used the moves he once used against the Saiyans. Although powerful, they were too slow. Even these minions could dodge them, but the next second, the big moves scattered and hit these minions, killing them directly. Next to him, Master Kame Sennin also used a Kamehameha to wipe out a group, and the others continued to press on. Even the bully-fearing Salted Egg Superman picked off one. On Earth, the battles were fierce and intense, but on the planet of the God of Destruction, the two young Saiyans were still leisurely training. Lord Beerus, finding the constant fighting of the Saiyans too noisy, had Whis throw them into a different dimensional space. Returning to the battlefield, under the assault of the protagonists, the minions dared not advance further. Then, the strategist Sorbet sent in Red Bull. According to Sorbet, Red Bull was the strongest warrior from the former Frieza company. However, Tagoma looked on with disdain, not agreeing with the claim of strongest, since the enemy had sent their strongest. Our protagonists also sent Gohan into the fray. Right off the bat, he employed a princely battle tactic, but Red Bull was indeed fierce. After a series of basic punches, he charged and hugged Gohan tightly, intending to overpower him in his embrace. Yet even with all his might, Red Bull couldn't affect Gohan, who recently had a child and was reluctant to engage in violence. But with no other choice, he attempted to transform into a Super Saiyan at the last moment. However, at the last second, Tagoma, disregarding martial ethics, launched a ki blast that pierced through Red Bull and also hit Gohan's heart, achieving a double strike. But this sneak attack only resulted in Red Bull's demise, while Gohan was lucky enough to have his father Piccolo perform CPR, and after consuming a senzu bean, he survived. It seems Frieza's arrogance isn't without reason, as having the strongest sparring partner, Tagoma, training with him, Frieza would have found it hard not to become a deity, because Tagoma was tortured by Frieza to the brink of death by day, and regenerated in a healing pod at night, ready to continue the next day, dying by day and reviving by night, repeatedly. After 4 months, not only had Frieza reached his current strength, but Tagoma's power had also significantly increased. So next, it was time for the strongest sparring partner, Tagoma, to step up. Strategist Sorbet, using a detector, could tell that Tagoma's power exceeded that of Captain Ginyu from the past. Damn it, I just want to slap him. All these old times. Forget Captain Ginyu. Even if the earlier Frieza came, he wouldn't be enough to fill Piccolo's dental gap. Not to mention Gohan. Piccolo, with all his might, punched. But to Tagoma, it was nothing, and he even casually broke Piccolo's arm. Then he continued pummeling Piccolo with a series of combos. And when Tagoma was about to deliver a heavy punch, Gohan intervened with a ki blast that sent Tagoma flying. However, the blasted Tagoma wasn't injured at all, but the next second, he was humiliated, as Gotenks charged in, headbutting him right in the groin with a duong, stunning the onlooking crowd. This move was indeed damaging, and if it were anyone else, their testicles would probably be shattered. But Gotenks didn't get to enjoy his triumph for long, as their fusion soon ended, splitting back into Goten and Trunks, reminding Frieza of the time he was instantly killed by Trunks back then. After all, this was Trunks. Then Frieza wanted Tagoma to go finish them, but after such a fierce attack, even Tagoma could only lie on the ground, unable to recover quickly. Suddenly, a frog jumped out of the ground in front of Tagoma and started digging furiously. It then unearthed a few words, exchange. When Tagoma uttered these 2 words, a golden light appeared, and beams of light shot out from their mouths, successfully swapping their souls. Indeed, this was Captain Ginyu's proudest technique, soul exchange. Unbeknownst to them, this Ginyu had been turned into a frog and transferred to Earth by a Namekian dragon, where it had survived till now. even narrowly escaping being eaten by a snake. While Frieza was pleased to see the long-lost Captain Ginyu, he couldn't stand his awkward dance habits. However, Gohan was thrilled, as Ginyu was his mentor who significantly improved his dance skills, impressing even Goten and Trunks. If this continued, Goten and Trunks might be influenced by Ginyu to join Gohan in forming a universe-level awkward dance group. But back to the fight. After swapping bodies with Captain Ginyu, there was no need to adapt to the new body, which astonishingly fitted perfectly. Ginyu, in this new body, immediately burst with energy, even stronger than Tagoma previously, and rushed forward, defeating the protagonists with a series of moves. Bulma, seeing her group was unreliable, quickly took out a strawberry sundae she made to summon Whis, while Goku and Vegeta were unaware, training inside Whis' staff. Beerus, always eating, kept indulging. Thus, it was all up to Gohan, who had long abandoned fighting for academia and couldn't match Captain Ginyu. Ginyu caught Gohan's leg, swung him around, and threw him away. Gohan, struggling, had to force himself to transform into a Super Saiyan, which was quite taxing. Transformed Gohan first repelled Jinyu's energy ball, then delivered a fierce kick to Jinyu's vital area, followed by an elbow strike that knocked Ginyu down. Gohan then declared, "The outcome is decided. Continuing the fight is pointless. Leave Earth now." But these words reminded Frieza of the fear of being dominated by Goku in the past, who had said the same thing to him. Then, reflecting on his past sufferings, Frieza began firing multiple death beams at Gohan, causing him immense pain. Gohan, now a puppet, appeared to be skeletal, yet without shedding a drop of blood, reflecting the modern era's restrictions on graphic content in animation, a stark contrast to the bloody scenes of the past. Now, with another death beam approaching, Gohan was on the verge of death, but at the last moment, Piccolo, not his biological father but more than one, rushed over again and saved Gohan's life. He then never woke up again and died directly. I'm a bit puzzled because in the Majin Buu saga, even after Piccolo turned to stone and was smashed to pieces by the mischievous Trunks, he was fine, but now he dies from just a skeleton strike. I really can't understand it. Moreover, there was enough energy, as he had just eaten a senzu bean. Gohan, feeling helpless again for being saved by Piccolo, whom he considers his true father, was very upset. Frieza, seeing Gohan's expression, was amused. Meanwhile, far away, Goku and Vegeta were still training with Whis' staff. Beerus, outside, had eaten all the pizzas, the rest were inside Whis' staff. So, he asked Whis to let them out, only to find that they had eaten all the pizzas inside, which infuriated Beerus enough to want to beat them up. At that moment, Whis finally noticed an unread message from Bulma stating that there was a huge problem on Earth. Frieza had revived and had become even stronger than before. She urgently requested that her husband Vegeta and Goku return home. However, the journey was too far, and even Whis would need 35 minutes to get there. By then, Earth could be destroyed, leaving only Goku's instant transmission as a hope. But they were too far, and Goku couldn't sense their energy to teleport. At this time, Gohan, severely wounded, stood up blaming himself for his inability to protect everyone, thinking that if he had trained better and been stronger, Piccolo might not have died. Then, Gohan, despite the risk of his body collapsing, exerted all his energy to boost his presence so Goku could sense him. The transformed Gohan felt as if his body and soul were drained. Far away, Goku finally sensed Gohan's energy. Goku asked Vegeta to hold his hand, but after some thought, Vegeta could only grab Goku's shoulder, hitching a ride. They, who had no issues holding hands in fights, now felt embarrassed about it. At that moment, Frieza, seeing the drained Gohan, decided to end him with a death beam. Fortunately, at the last second, Goku arrived to save the day, effortlessly deflecting Frieza's death beam. With the arrival of the two saviors, everyone was relieved, and there was no need to worry about Piccolo. The fat dragon of Namek could revive him. Goku used instant transmission to move Piccolo to the temple. Afterward, Goku sent Goten and Trunks away from the battlefield to explain the situation to Dend. Who could foresee the future? Goku mainly wanted to keep the kids away from the battle. Gohan also ate another senzu bean and fully recovered. Next up is the final showdown between Goku and Frieza. The two exchanged a deep look, then started trading punches. They then compared their strength, making a crater in the ground around them. Frieza, who had always looked down on Saiyans, was repeatedly humiliated by the Saiyan duo Goku and Trunks. Don't mention how devastated he was at that time. So, having resurrected, he harbored a lot of resentment towards Goku, but our Goku is tired of hearing it. This is the result of your own actions. Why talk so much? Just get on with it. However, Frieza, like mad, directly threw an energy ball at Krillin. Frieza clearly hadn't learned his lesson in his previous life. The thing he regretted most was blowing up Krillin, and this time, he targeted Krillin again. It seems you want to feel the fear of being dominated by Saiyans again. After attacking Krillin, he then attacked Bulma. Frieza must be crazy. Remember when Bulma was slapped by Beerus? It made Vegeta so angry that he even fought the God of Destruction, not to mention you, who were just into real estate. However, their battle was too drawn out, fighting for a second then talking for a minute. Not just me. Even Vegeta couldn't stand it anymore and flew over to break up their fight, beating up Carrot indiscriminately. Are you serious at all? Seeing Vegeta's approach, Frieza thought that Vegeta might still be loyal to him. Are you considering switching to work at my real estate company? Yes. I don't want to be a kept man on Earth anymore. I want to join you, Mr. Frieza, in real estate to make a fortune. Congratulations on your resurrection. Welcome, Mr. Frieza. Then there was continuous applause. Applause that never stopped, which even annoyed Mr. Frieza. However, Vegeta was just teasing Frieza. At home, he has his beloved wife Bulma and immense wealth. He's not interested in mixing with Frieza. Goku and Frieza finally decided to fight seriously, and Frieza could even transform again. You go first. No, you're the boss. You go first. No, you're the protagonist. You go first. Both understood that whoever unleashed their full power first would lose, so neither dared to transform first. Relying on his protagonist aura, Goku then said, "If that's the case, I will respectfully disobey." Following this, Goku gradually changed from yellow to blue, giving birth to Super Saiyan Blue, which, like Super Saiyan God, possessed a divine aura. Thus, Krillin and the others couldn't sense Goku's energy. Despite facing such a formidable Goku, Frieza wasn't panicked at all because he had spent a significant portion of his real estate to power up. This was the first time Frieza transformed into Golden Frieza, his whole body bursting with golden flames due to the money spent, upgrading him directly to a golden version. Even Earth's wealthiest, Bulma, was nearly blinded by such brilliance. Of course, the power of money is substantial, boosting Frieza several levels at once. Frieza, who couldn't even beat Super Saiyan 1 before, was now able to boast against Super Saiyan Blue Goku. The pay-to-win player is truly formidable. Your Super Saiyan Blue is indeed powerful, but it's still not better than my golden rank. Goku thought they were evenly matched, but Frieza disagreed. Real strength would decide the outcome, not just words. Then the two rushed at each other, trading punches. Frieza gained the upper hand and, after beating Goku, flew up and used the Prince's combat technique on him. Meanwhile, as they fought, Whis and Beerus, the two gluttons, came to Earth for food and drinks, but on their way, they encountered the two mysterious beings from before. It turns out the plus-sized Beerus was named Kampa, Beerus's twin brother, the god of destruction from Universe 6. He had come to Universe 7, definitely not for anything good, but didn't want Beerus to know, so he misled Beerus by saying he was just out for a walk. In reality, Kampa was collecting Super Dragon Balls. After a brief meeting, Beerus had to hurry to Earth for food and drinks. However, Earth was in the midst of a critical battle. The god of destruction, instead of helping, was thinking about eating and drinking while they enjoyed their meal. Goku was gradually losing to Frieza, who arrogantly proclaimed that after defeating him, he would send Vegeta and the other friends to hell together. Suddenly, Beerus appeared on the scene. What? Frieza, what did you just say? Did you say you want to send me to hell? Ha ha ha. Unexpectedly for Frieza, the god of destruction Beerus was also present, and he immediately backed down. Oh, I misspoke. My apologies. As a god of destruction, Beerus would not interfere in mortal conflicts and would stay neutral even among friends. There's still good food. Hurry over. The battle then continued. At a disadvantage, Goku instantly recalled how he had dealt with Frieza in the past. With a good bite, he crunched down. Oh, delicious. That familiar taste. Long missed. Indeed, gold tastes much better than silver. Goku bit Frieza in the same spot twice, which infuriated him. Frieza then furiously pummeled Goku. Vegeta below did not intend to help. However, as time passed, Frieza's attacks were not as fierce as before. He even gasped heavily. Goku noticed this and kindly advised Frieza, "Hey, Frieza, you should quit while you're ahead. Beat me up now, feel better, and hurry back home. Otherwise, you'll see what happens, as I've already seen through your weakness." But Frieza, seeing victory within reach, wouldn't just go home. The two then exerted their energies again, but Frieza's energy had not subsided. Thus, at this point, Goku still could not defeat Frieza. Goku even lost to Frieza in an energy wave clash, each blast hitting him. Seeing Goku about to fall into the water, Frieza kicked him back, saying, I won't let you drown that easily. It was then that the tide of battle turned. Frieza, using all his strength, struck Goku's forehead fiercely but could not harm the blue monkey at all. Frieza's energy declined too quickly. Just a moment ago, he was beating Goku severely. The next, he couldn't lay a finger on him. Now it was Goku's turn. As Frieza knelt, he signaled Sorbet with his eyes, seemingly planning a sly move. Then, acting dramatically to lower Goku's guard, Goku astonishingly believed him, relaxed his guard, and reverted to his normal state. The next moment, a death beam pierced Goku's body. Frieza's plan succeeded, exploiting Goku's arrogance and mercy towards his enemies. As the saying goes, being merciful to enemies is being cruel to oneself. But no worries, Goku fell, and there was still Vegeta. So, when Frieza tried to finish Goku, Vegeta intervened and saved him, then kicked him back to Gohan. Frieza attempted another deadly attack, which Vegeta deflected while also instantly taking out Sorbet. Now, what was supposed to be a revival of Frieza to strengthen the company ended with only Frieza left, as Goku revived with the last Senzu Bean. Next up was Vegeta's fight against Frieza. Vegeta was extremely excited. Frieza had previously beaten him badly, but now, the tables had turned. Vegeta, now transformed into a Super Saiyan Blue, fiercely beat Frieza. Vegeta's inner feeling must have been of laughter, like an employee grinding his boss. Frieza, into the ground. Even when Frieza used the Prince of Saiyan tactics, Vegeta easily deflected them with one hand. Vegeta makes his appearance, not as gentle and merciful as Goku. He even knocked Frieza's golden rank back down to silver. Then Frieza knelt again. How can this be? I actually lost to Vegeta. Times have changed. Frieza, your era of ruling is gone forever. Don't come back to life again. Before Vegeta could launch an attack, Frieza unleashed a force into the ground, causing an immediate catastrophic upheaval. The magma beneath the Earth's surface erupted. The other inhabitants still living on Earth couldn't react in time. Even Satan, who was reputed to have never died, was offline in this disaster. The Earth exploded, leaving only a few people near the god of destruction. However, Frieza can survive in space, so he might not have died. Thus, although Frieza lost the fight, he won the war. But no worries, our heroes have backup, which just needs to gently tap the ground a few times to rewind time by 3 minutes. This is practically cheating, giving Goku a chance to do it all over again. Speaking of which, wasn't Beerus supposed to remain neutral? Now he's changed his mind. So, time is rewound to 3 minutes earlier, before Frieza could destroy the Earth. Goku immediately transforms into Super Saiyan Blue and gathers all his strength in his palm for a Kamehameha. He takes the initiative and blasts Frieza to smithereens. Alas, let us mourn Frieza for 3 seconds. In Frieza's brief life, he risked his life to come to Earth twice to subdue the warrior race of Saiyans. However, both times, he was annihilated by the Saiyans. Let us send off the Cosmic Emperor Frieza with the utmost respect. I believe he will come back again. Thus concludes the Resurrection F arc of Dragon Ball Super.